After last night's terrible finish in New Hampshire, Christie is being rumored to drop out later today. So essentially, he's done. For real. Now, earlier today, Fox Business actually tweeted out, with no citation, no link, that Christie is ready to drop out. There have been other conflicting reports, but generally the consensus is that Christie is ready to drop out. Yesterday, he announced that he was going to go back to New Jersey to reassess his campaign. So pretty much, when you go back, when you go back to New Jersey or wherever you're from to reassess your campaign, it doesn't sound very good. It's not like Ben Carson going back and, don't worry, guys, I'm just going to get some fresh clothes. No, this is not that situation. He's actually going back and saying, man, I did shitty. I did terrible. Very, very disappointing. Very disappointing. And it's not just the New Hampshire finish that's really made him consider dropping out. It's also the fact that he's being cut from the next Republican debate. He just doesn't have the polling. They're getting a lot more strict on on the polling, and Christie, you wouldn't going to make it. If you're not in the debate, you might as well call it. So, and look, speaking of the polling, he's polling at seventh nationally. Yeah, and in South Carolina, he's not looking any better. He's polling about 6th. So it's not like he was looking at victory and saying, man, if I just make it through South Carolina, if I stick it out through South Carolina, then maybe I'll pick up my stride. No, dude, that bridge is closed. That bridge is closed. So, and this is what's interesting about this, because I actually thought that in the last debate, being tough on Marco Rubio, I thought that was going to help him. I thought it was tough. I thought it was good. He essentially Donkey Konged Marco Rubio in the head for his canned, repeated talking points. Where Marco malfunctioned, Christie came in and sucker punched him. Boom! Right in the gut. And now, of course, Marco Rubio is looking like his campaign's starting to circle the drain as well. So, he also did terrible in New Hampshire. And even Marco Rubio came out and said, look, it was because of my debate performance. I'm sorry, it was terrible. He apologized for his own terrible debate performance. Because he says that's the reason that I came in, 5th? In New Hampshire? Terrible. So, I thought Christie, I thought that was actually going to help him, but apparently it didn't. But the overall point, and I've made this before, is that Christie was essentially, he's been trumped. Literally. I mean, you already have, in Trump, a Northeastern bully. And Christie, as crass as he was, you can't match up to Trump. You can't out-Trump Trump. Because he will ultimately, he's the alpha male. He's the gorilla in the room that's going to Donkey Kong you in the head. And that's exactly what he did to everyone. I mean, Trump, on stage, he was bigger, figuratively. He was louder. And he has the benefit of not being a politician. And he also had the benefit of not being close to Obama. Now, a lot of people point out during the whole Hurricane Sandy, that hug that might have doomed his campaign. I don't know how much that actually factored in, but I think some people will remember, and some people said, well, Christie, too close to Obama. Christie, too much of a politician. Yeah, he talks tough. But Trump talks tougher, and he's not part of the establishment. And we know that this election has a huge anti-establishment bias baked in. People are tired of the politicians, and they're tired of the establishment. And Donald Trump, on the Republican side, that's the guy they turn to. And Christie, he couldn't match up with that. He just couldn't. He essentially threw Christie under the bridge and then closed it on him without even having to do anything, just by the virtue of being Donald fucking Trump. immediately cut off Christie at the knee, kneecapped him. So there's that. Christie, if he's not gone now, he's very soon to be. There's no path for him. He's done. It's over. And the field, the GOP field, it's getting narrow, and it's looking more and more like Donald Trump. That could change, but right now, Donald Trump's got a massive lead in all of the other states that have polling so far. Trump's going to do very well